Welcome back to West Texas View.
You'd ask a question. If you want to talk about something, you say, no, I don't want to talk about that. I got something else. Welcome back to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and my guest today is Carl Rippey, who is one of the weathermen here at K-West Television. And he has such an interesting background that I just had to introduce you to him. And one of the things we haven't even talked about is he made some movies and was involved in the entertainment business at Nashville and other places, and we haven't even got to that yet. But I want us to have time to talk about some of the fun and danger in projecting weather. So, Carl, continue your story.
Well, in terms of weather and weather prediction, it is vitally important for us to be aware of what is going on. That's what makes our job here so important. And the rest of the weather team always has their eyes on the weather. Tom, the chief meteorologist, Tom Tieferteller, he's tuned in. He's got 2 telephones that have the radar picture on it all the time. He's always watching the weather, always on top of that, because it could go severe at any time if we have a storm system coming in on us. Similar to what we have had this week. We've been tracking that storm for 3 weeks now, 2 of which have been while it's building, and 1 of which has started to come in on us, and now we haven't been caught off guard because we've had our eyes on it. Jessica Ryan, same thing. She's very bright, very brilliant, and has her antennas up all the time on severe weather. And I've been able to plug in and fill in a spot as well. Very fortunate. I feel blessed to even be here. But, you know, there's so many things that happen in terms of our weather that could be gusting winds, could be lightning, and we have quite a bit going on as far as electrical storms go. More fatalities actually happen when there isn't rain in an electrical storm than if there is rain. So we, as a group, as a society, take that electrical potential that a storm has for granted, because lightning can strike anywhere basically that it wants if there's that electricity, if that atmosphere is charged. And those are other things that we keep ahead of, and we're able to see that on the radar. We're able to broadcast that out, and with the format the way it is here at K-West, KWES, the weather is one of the first priorities because it is so important to the workers that are in the field, out there in the wide open. They've got to do their work. So if we can prepare them for what is happening in terms of our prediction of what's coming at them, give them some information what to do in an electrical storm situation, which is very simple. You want to stand on the balls of your feet. You want to keep yourself as tight in as possible. And the reason that you stand on the balls of your feet is you are making the contact spot to the ground minimal. You're trying to minimize that because and you don't want to step out, because if you step, you're completing that circuit between your 2 feet. The likelihood of you getting zinged by a bolt is pretty good.
You really are talking about how important lightning is and how dangerous we need to appreciate it. But the other thing, though, is that when you are predicting weather, the things that the television stations do now, like we have cameras on buildings in towns all around here. You've got volunteers that call in weather. You've got your storm tracker trucks that go out. Plus all of this myriad of state-of-the-art tracking system and the National Weather Bureau and all of that keeps all of us knowing as much as you do, because you tell us.
Well, and the other thing is you all as viewers are very important to that equation, because you can join us on our kwest.com. If you click on the Facebook portion, you can join us there. You can follow us on Twitter, and we watch that stuff. We watch all of that input. If you have rain, weather, some kind of severity, maybe in southeastern New Mexico or up on the northeastern Permian Basin, wherever you are, we have direct and immediate real-time connection with you, and that helps us put together a more of a composite of what's going on real time, which in turn aids the rest of what's going on out there, out from our station, because we do see a lot of that through our radar, through our satellite, and we have infrared view from above, which gives us a better picture of what's going on in terms of circulation, what is in the atmosphere. We've got all of these stations across the country, especially in Texas, that we can pull data from, and maybe the temperature is 67 degrees and the dew point is 66. We know that it's going to be foggy, we know it's going to rain, we know that there are different things that are happening that are influencing that weather. We know the wind direction, but that input from our viewers, from you out there, that's what is very important
Because
to
no
us.
matter how much science you have, Mother Nature still controls everything.
Right.
And she may decide that she's going to just send a bolt of lightning right down there, and,
She might.
and you don't know
Right.
that.
You know, and it's funny you say that. About 2 weeks ago, I hadn't been here, but probably a couple weeks, maybe 3. I'm calling for clear skies, open view. It's
because
going to be,
all the science told me that.
yeah, and I was very much into it. I knew I wasn't calling for rain. There wasn't rain in the forecast. The phone rings in the weather center. I look at the radar out of the corner of my eye and I go, that's either the news director, it's the chief meteorologist, or it's a viewer. And sure enough, it was a viewer, and she says, I don't know if you know it or not,
But it's raining.
we have rain here in Odessa. And I had to change my forecast, and it was just a small little pop-up shower, and it lasted for about 35 minutes or so. It went right over the station. Just a light little drizzle. The guys who were outside, they didn't even think anything of it. It wasn't a rainstorm to them, but it definitely was a surprise to me.
But one of the things that you have to constantly contend with is you are using the best information that in today's world we have, and yet there's still going to be some misses because Mother Nature controls it.
Yeah.
And so people fuss at the 1% of the time when you don't get it
Yeah.
exactly right, instead of saying, wait a minute, think of all the 99% when we get it right.
Well, and that's very generous, very kind of you. We do our best. We really do. And as far as being confident of what's going on, I would say in severe weather, you can't touch us. We have everything that we need. Big station equipment here. And the weather's very important.
State of the art.
Yeah.
And constantly, every time I come to film a program, there's a new piece of equipment that you've gotten. We're going to have to take a break right now, but we'll be back and continue this conversation in just a minute. Join us then.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right
This
back.
is